Welcome back to my YouTube channel Code with Ruby. Today I am going to tell you about objects and classes. A class is a blueprint to create object, means it is a model of creating objects. It contains variables and methods. Let us take an example of class employee, which contains variables name and ID and method as work. Object is a variable of class whose data type is of class name. The new operator is used to create an object of a class. In Java, JVM allocates memory location on heap and a unique reference number called hash code is returned as a reference number. For example, if we want to create an object EMP of class employee, then we can write it as employee emp equals to new employee. Now we will see how to initialize the instance variables. The value of variables can be initialized in the same class or in the other class. And if we do not initialize it, then the default value of the instance variable is used by the Java compilers. These values are for data type byte, short, int, and long, default value is 0, whereas for data type float and double, the default value is 0.0. For char, it is a space. For string, it is a null, and for boolean, it is false. In any other class type is also the default value will be null. Now we move to access specifiers. We use access specifiers for class and its members. Members are variable and methods of a class. So there are four types of access specifiers available in Java. First is private. It is accessible within the class by its methods. Second is public. It is accessible everywhere outside the class and directory and within the class. Whereas protected is accessible outside the class but within the same directory. And default is when nothing is specified by the programmer, then the default members are accessible outside the class but within the same directory. So these all are the four specifiers available in Java. To declare a constant variable, we use a keyword as final, and it cannot be changed in other class or in its derived class. Now let us move on to constructors. It is very similar to method but do not return any value. Therefore, we do not write even void before its name. It is used to initialize the object, which is an instance variable of a class. Its name should be same as class name. So we can write a constructor of class employee as employee and a pair of small brackets, then a pair of curly brackets. By default, a constructor do not have parameters, but it can have one or two or three parameters or anything. Constructor needs to be called every time when we create an object. So when we create an object Ruby, then constructor is called here. Again, when we create another object Seema, again constructor is called. So a constructor is called automatically and executed when object is created. And for non-parameterized object creation, default constructor is called and executed. Constructor overloading. Writing two or more constructors with the same name but different parameters is called constructor overloading. For example, if one default constructor and another parameterized constructor of the same class is created, then constructor overloading is done. So let us take an example of class employee where we create an object E and we pass two arguments to the constructor employee. So now we come to the end of the session, which is review questions. So first question is what is hash code? Second is what is the difference between a method and a constructor, and when is a constructor called? Please write your answer in the comment section. Till that, bye, take care.